The New York Rangers defeat the Anaheim Ducks by a score of 6-4. And this was a game where the Rangers' talent was very, very evident, especially on the power play. 3 for 4 on the power play, and Mika Zibanejad and Artemi Panarin have really gotten off to quite the starts, which was a difference from last season, where when you think about their first 10, 20 games, they weren't really quite sharp. And so far this year, they really, they look good. And so I think with Anaheim, it's one of those things where the Rangers didn't really play a well-structured game. I thought that at times they were sloppy defensively, like it wasn't a tight, whereas that first game against the Lightning, I thought that was like a very complete, as close as you're going to get to like playoff style hockey. The Rangers played really well. So the Rangers can win in different styles. But I thought in this game they kind of took their foot off the gas, but they kind of just knew they would win. I mean, we've reached the point now with the Rangers where like they just kind of know that they can beat certain teams, and that was the case with this game against the Ducks. It shouldn't have been 6-4. It should have been really more lopsided than that. Rangers outshot the Ducks 43-22. Really, it was, and that's the one thing that I guess is a small concern this year. Whereas last year, the Rangers, there was a lot to prove. This year, there's a hunger there, but I feel like just naturally, you might have some games where the Rangers just aren't quite all locked in, but yet they are such a good team that they can, recover from that. You just don't want to get into bad habits. And it's funny, Igor, so far this year, it hasn't been anything crazy. And in this one, like, Igor wasn't great, but that's the awesome thing, is that, like, Igor cannot have a great game and the Rangers can still win easily. And he was hung out to dry in some cases, too. Like, let's, make that perfectly clear. But I think that's a good sign that Shesterkin doesn't have to be Vezina form. Whereas last year, he was, the beginning of the season last year, he was incredible. He was the reason why the Rangers were winning games. But, young players are stepping up. Kakko looks very good. You hope he just stays healthy, gets the ice time, because, he looks a lot better. What we've been looking for. The young kids are really progressing. But that first unit, it is so lethal. And now Vinny Trocheck is starting to find his way as well. We'll talk about, who scored tonight and the points and stuff, but Trocheck, who was in front of sort of the person he replaced, Ryan Strome. Ryan Strome and Frank Vatrano make their return to MSG rather quickly in the Ducks' third game of the season, the Rangers' fourth. And Strome got a nice video tribute, as you'd expect. But Trocheck, he really, is looking more comfortable, as that sort of pivot option on the power play that Strome used to fill that role. And for Trocheck, it's all about getting himself open, being ready, and he was in this game. I do think that defensively, that line has had its struggles. Lafreniere really, Gallant can't be too happy. That last goal the Ducks scored, Lafreniere was kind of just falling asleep. He definitely had to have gotten a near full for that. So, as good as that line has been at producing offense, it hasn't been great defensively, which is not totally surprising, but Trocheck is someone who is a defensively responsible player, always has been. Good two-way player. So you'd expect him, he is used to the Gallant system, but I'm sure there's tweaks. And he hasn't played for Gallant in a while now. He was on, even when he was still in Florida, Gallant had already been in Vegas by then. So it's been a long time. And so maybe, and I'm sure there's tweaks as time moves forward. But yeah, Trocheck, it seems like on the defensive side, you want a little bit more there. And I think you'll get it. But you can see, he's getting more comfortable. Absolutely. Tonight, Zach Jones back in the lineup for Libor Hayek. That's the right move every single time. And good to see that. Also, Sammy Blais makes his debut. He hadn't played in a very long time in the regular season, and he's back and looked pretty good. It's tough. Hedl, you feel bad kind of that Hedl is with, not so much Blais, but I guess more VZ. But they've been it's been defensively responsible, which is key. Like, I feel like the Heat line, it's been pretty good. But, I mean, he made a nice pass to Lafreniere when they were together tonight. And I think Heat, unfortunately, is kind of stuck with players, VZ specifically, that aren't really going to help him produce a whole lot of offense. But it's an okay third line. Well, with Blay on it, providing energy with hits, that can be a decent line that won't kill you defensively, which is nice. Ryan Carpenter was out. Remember, he had a skate cut against Winnipeg, and I think it's something to do with that. I didn't take it as a straight healthy scratch, but it seems like Kravtsov and Carpenter should be back soon. I think it gets to a point now, if someone's kind of hurt, they're going to sit. And I think it'll be a bit of a rotation among the forwards. Like I've said from the beginning, there's a lot of potential forwards that could be scratches, right? I mean, Ryan Reeves certainly could be. Dryden Hunt, Jimmy Vesey, could be players that sit if you do get Carpenter and or Kravtsov back in there. But in discussing the game, John Gibson was definitely, hit a tough spot. Anthony Stolarz came in the third. And, by then the Rangers were, in really good control of the game. But the Rangers power play, to me, is I guess, the story of the game. Three power play goals, 3 for 4, really good. Mason McTavish takes a delay of game penalty at 6:15 of the first. The Rangers score. Vinny Trocheck, it's his second goal of the season, his first Ranger goal at Madison Square Garden from Zibanejad and Panarin. Really nice pass by Zibanejad. Trocheck buries it. I shouldn't say buries it, taps it in. It was the better word to use. And the Rangers take a 1-0 lead right there. Then Derek Grant hooks Alexis Lafreniere at 11:29, and the Rangers score again on the power play. And this time it's Mika Zibanejad scoring his third of the season from Trocheck. This was a nice pass by Trocheck where Zibanejad, nice shot, scores, and Panarin with the assist. So you get right immediately Trocheck, Zibanejad, and Panarin each get points on those two goals. And then it's old pal Frank Vatrano doing what Frank Vatrano does, and that's scoring on just really, really nice wrist shots. It was from far out. Igor maybe wants to have it back, but we saw Vatrano do this all the time. I really think he has one of the best shots in the NHL. Is Frank Vatrano a star of the league? He's not, but in terms of that one specific quality, he is really good at it. And so Vatrano, it's his second goal of the year, and it cuts the Ranger lead to 2-1. And then Philip Hedl right after that would take a hooking penalty, but the Rangers kill it off. That'd be the one penalty the Rangers would take on the night. We go to the second, and the Ducks tied up pretty early. Trevor Zegras scores his second goal of the season. Zegras, seems like he's on his way to being one of the best players in the league on a young and up-and-coming Anaheim team. And so that ties it up at 2. And then the Rangers take the lead for good. And it is a goal by Capo Caco. His second goal of the season, it's from Zibanejad. So at this point, 3 points in the night for Mika, and Fox gets the other assist. So this was a shot by Zibanejad. It goes off, it's a save by Gibson. It goes off of Caco's skate inadvertently and in. Makes it 3-2 Rangers. Then Kevin Shattenkirk, old pal. I say that, jokingly. Shattenkirk's tenure here was not a great one. He trips Sammy Blais. Were they former teammates with the Blues? Maybe. Not sure. Probably not, come to think of it. But anyway, there's the penalty by Shattenkirk at 15-17. And the Rangers don't score on this power play, but soon thereafter, the kid line was on together. Now, we know they're separated for the most part, but post-power play, they're on together and they score. Lafreniere, his first goal of the season from Hedl and Trouba. Really nice pass by Hedl from behind the net. Lafreniere scores the one-timer, makes it 4-2 Rangers. And then before the period's out, for good measure, gives the Rangers a 3-goal lead. It's Artemi Panarin. Second goal of the game from Artemi. His third point of the game from Fox and Lindgren. And the Rangers take a 5-2 lead. We go to the third. And in the third, like I said, Gibson out, Stolarz in, and it would be a goal for Max Comtois at 5:33 of the third. Cross-ice pass, probably should have been better defended. Igor a little bit late getting over there, and Clem scores to make it, like I said, 5-3. And then the Ducks take one more penalty, and it's actually Frank Vetrano who interferes with Zibanejad, and Zibanejad personally says, Frank, sorry, but I'm going to score again. So Zibanejad, his 4th goal of the season, 2nd goal of the night, assist by Panarin. So 4-point nights for Zibanejad and Panarin. And then Fox with a 3-assist night makes it 6-3. But then the Ducks do score with under 4 minutes left. Derek Grant, his 1st goal of the season, makes it 6-4. Like I said, Rangers got a little bit sloppy at points this game. This wasn't a masterclass in defense by any means, but the Rangers, I think they felt good all night that they'd win this game. It's just, we've hit a point, really, where the Rangers, home against the Ducks, yep, that's the game that they're likely to win, while not playing their best. So the Rangers improved to 3-1. It's been a pretty good start to the season. I think there's definitely some things to work on, especially in the defensive zone, things that are easily correctable. And the Rangers' next game will be Thursday, home against the Sharks, who are at this point 0-4, and they play at the Islanders before that, so they could be 0-5. So the same. This is the Rangers are hitting a part of their schedule that isn't overly difficult with these California teams, and the Ducks and the Sharks probably won't be two of the better ones, especially the Sharks. Ducks, I think they're up and coming. Sharks are in a tough spot. Feel like their future isn't the best, but you'd expect a better defensive performance from the Sharks than the Ducks. That much I could probably agree with. And so we'll see what happens. Rangers, Sharks. It's not a heavy week for the Rangers. They're home. There's days in between. So, you'd expect to continue to see Igor in there. But, and hopefully the Rangers can kind of beef up that record, stay high in the standings. Look, the Rangers are going to have some good competition in the division, namely Carolina and Pittsburgh. And then, look, there's other solid teams in there. But when I look at this division, I think the top 3 is Carolina, the Rangers, and Pittsburgh. And Carolina and Pittsburgh are off to nice starts. So for the Rangers, you want to keep up, and I think they can do so. But again, the Rangers beat the Anaheim Ducks by a score of 6-4.